The good black woman has 7 attributes, and then I'm going to explain to you how to utilize those in your day-to-day life. The good black woman has self-discipline, courteousness, cheerfulness, self-respect, intelligence, cleanliness, and love.
Hi guys, welcome back to the second half of this video. So we had a subscriber, his name is Randolph. He emailed us a few videos of, what is her, Shahrazad Ali. You guys remember her? I remember her very vividly. A few videos that, now the videos that you sent, I wasn't able to get to download them right. A lot of them are in 360p. They're like videos of her talking on Donahue. I think one is Geraldo. It's very fascinating. I'll try to link all the videos that he sent us. But one of the videos brought me to another one of her videos, and I thought it was really interesting. So I thought we would watch that video together.
As I said, this book demonstrates that we are not as different as we like to think that we are. So what I'm going to go over real brief right now is what the attributes are of the good black woman. Since she's not on television, we may not recognize her. Okay. The good black woman has 7 attributes, and then I'm going to explain to you how to utilize those in your day-to-day life. The good black woman has self-discipline, courteousness, cheerfulness, self-respect, intelligence, cleanliness, and love. The good black woman has self-discipline. That's self-control. Let me make that real for you, sisters. We can start with our mouth. The good black woman can control her mouth. She don't have to say everything that comes up. It's okay if he get the last word sometime. You know. She don't cuss in public.
Do you guys hate that? The men, do you guys hate when women cuss? I always wonder if men are like, think that's a masculine trait. I always wonder if it's a masculine trait. You know, yeah. Women who cuss too much, I don't know.
Works on not cussing in private. She don't tear a man down with her mouth because they can't out-argue us. Can't nobody out-argue us. I have charged that we nag our men too much. We keep our men's head tied up so much with our petty grievances about our personal relationship that he don't have time to think and plan for our future. Because he got to deal with what's going to happen with us every day. You know, it's real odd. When the black man come home, he almost have to do a wind test or stick his toe in the door. He don't know what's waiting. He don't know who in there today. So, you know, we need to not make it like that. We need to not be so vicious with our mouth. You know, men are not petty like that. They're not going to out-argue us. And it has been proven that verbal abuse is just as harmful as physical abuse. So let's not use our mouth to do that to him. The good black woman is courteous. She says, "Thank you, baby. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate every effort you make. Try harder. I'm going to work with you. Thank you. I know you did your best." Now that's a whole new language. But just to say that during the course of the day, every day, with the man that you're trying to be with or want to be with, will make our life easier. We can't get it if we don't give it. We keep wanting them to give us and do something for us that we refuse to do and give to them. It don't work like that. The good black woman has self-respect. She don't have to go out naked just to get the attention of a man.
She's been saying, okay, so she's been saying this stuff for decades, right? And I think she's even mentioned before that if we don't get it together now, we're going to see a change in women and blah, 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 right? She said that then. And now, here we are. And now she's talking about women being naked all the time. I'm just saying, like, she said this a long time ago. And now we're here on the Instagram world.
I have sisters all over the country, and they come up to me after the lectures, and they'll be talking to me, and they'll say, "Well, you know, all he think about is sex. All he think about is my body." I say, "Why don't you show him something else?" Good black woman can pull a dress down without thinking that it devalues her. She doesn't have to use her body because she has so many other good attributes about herself to get the attention of a man. We can take the sisters in a position to take all of the charge and sexual energy out of the black community by just dressing differently. We have the power and control over that. That don't stop you from being beautiful. That don't stop you from getting a man. And it certainly puts things on the right perspective so some other judgments can be made other than physical. It don't take no knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to have a sexual reaction. That's the most base. We spend less time doing that than anything else we do. So, you know, that doesn't always have to be the forefront issue. We know we are capable of that. The good black woman has intelligence, meaning that she knows how to behave properly in the streets. She's not in the wrong place. Some of our women don't know what else to do other than go to the bar. They need some activities. Some of our women thinking that staying home on the weekend is some kind of sin. Some of our women think that if they don't have a new outfit to wear every day, that they're going to self-destruct. You know, the good black woman is clean. Now that's a hard one. The good black woman try to keep the house clean. Good black woman is clean by her own body. You know, a lot of those things we kind of take for granted, but all of our people don't know about that. There are people who are angry with me because I even described the fact that some of us as sisters don't have the proper personal hygiene, as if that don't exist. We have too much falsehood and pretense going about our condition. Everybody that's dressed up ain't clean. You know, that's just the truth. We have to look at our condition in the light of truth. Stop reacting emotionally and pretending that just because we don't want to deal. One of the most difficult things that I deal with out here is trying to teach our people the difference between an actual fact and an opinion. Our people think that they can accept or reject truth based on how they feel about it. Your feelings don't change the truth. The truth is just going to be there. You can feel any kind of way you want to feel about it. Those kind of emotions have kept us from growing. Because anything we don't like, we just reject that and say, well, I don't believe that. That don't mean that it's not the truth. It just makes you a disbeliever. The good black woman practices non-possessive loving. Now, y'all know that's a hard one. Now, envy is wanting what someone else has. And jealousy, of course, is just selfishness. Non-possessive loving is not an easy one for us to practice. And, of course, I have a lot of sisters and some brothers who are in disagreement with me saying that. But the actual fact is that our men are outnumbered about 5 to 1. And nature is going to require that the men take responsibility for more than one woman and her children. Most of our men have children by more than one woman anyway. So I don't know why that was such a surprise, allegedly, when I said that. The black man has not been waiting on me to tell him he could have more than one woman. You know, I'm in agreement with the rest of y'all. I don't think he should do that, but I feel like you did. There are some things perhaps about the nature of our man that we have been given some definitions about that are not true. There are some things he can do that we call him a dog. We do not have the same capabilities as a man. I am not talking about fornication and adultery. That's something else. I'm talking about actual responsibility of fatherhood and husbandhood of another family. That's quite different from fornication and adultery. We don't have the same capabilities of them. That's right. A man can have 2 homes, 2 sets of in-laws. He can eat dinner at 2 houses, 2 sets of children, 2 garages, 2 separate sets of friends attached to that woman. He can have all of that. We can't do that. We can't cook dinner at 2 houses. We can't sleep with one man 4 nights a week and another one 3. Ain't no man gonna agree with that. We can't have one set of children we leave in one place and go and stay in another place and take care of another set. It doesn't work for us. Now, that does not mean that we can't have sex with more than one man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just taking responsibility for your children. Now, certainly every man can't take financial responsibility for all of his children. He can do something. But a man who is spending time with a child is going to do something for it. Because then they'll find out what we have since we've been taking care of them by ourselves. You don't like to always say, no, I can't do it. No, I ain't got it. So the children will make you get it up. You spend some time with it. You know, that's an important thing. The effectiveness of the principles that I just described, their usefulness has not diminished just because modern opinion has changed about them. There is not a black man in this room who does not still enjoy it if his woman bake him a cake. Well, our young daughters are being raised and taught that that's old style and that's out of fashion. We are not making those rules. Somebody else is, and they're imposing them on us and making us think that we have to qualify under them. I tell the brothers, just like I tell the sisters, if you have a woman that you've been working with for months or years, and you can't get that woman to get in agreement with your program, then get rid of her and get another one. And I tell the sisters the same thing. If you're with a man you can't agree with, don't make his life miserable. Get with a man you can agree with. But we spend too much time living in hell with each other. We spend too much time tearing each other down, trying to make the other person do different or function different. If you want somebody to change, first change yourself. We set the example. We are the teacher. We are the mother. We set the example.
So that was interesting. We had somebody that emailed, or not emailed us. She was on Facebook. She left us a Facebook message and talked about polygamy. She's like, I don't know what you guys think about polygamy. Because I guess she was maybe, I don't know if she was thinking about doing that. I'm not with the polygamy thing. I think most American women are.
I mean,
she's Muslim.
I don't know what she is. I mean, she's one of those people that she's based.
Yeah.
She's like, but you know, the thing is like, you know, polygamy is for some and not for others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, I don't. I'm not for it. I'm not gonna. My husband's not going to be having another wife. That's just not gonna happen
that's
with
not
me. And that's not being possessive.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like he's not going to see me up in bed with some other man.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. What she's trying to say is that some things work for men that don't. But you know, there are a lot of men who actually do practice polygamy and they don't like it. I was watching this Nigerian talk show, and this guy was on there with several talk show wives, several talk show women.
Yeah.
He was the only man, and he was talking about I don't think it was Nigerian. I can't remember.
I remember you talking about, I think, Kenyan or something.
He was saying that it's not as fun as you think.
Yeah.
He's a white because you have to deal with all these personalities, and not only that, if you have kids with them, you know, you find no time for yourself anymore because you have to deal with these women, then you have to deal with their issues, and you have to deal with these kids, and then usually when you have more than one wife, you have a whole bunch of kids, which means that he has to spend time with each one of these kids, and there's not enough time in the day. It's very expensive, and so, you know, but to me, if that's what you want to do, then whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't condemn
me,
people
but,
who do
you
it.
know, But I will agree, though, what she said, because I think I said this before, is that, you know, a lot of people are practicing polygamy. All this sleeping around is making children with all these different people that
in some form are
doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In some way. Divorce, if you marry another person and you've been divorced and you have kids with them, well then that's a form of polygamy. The only difference is that you're not together when it happens.
Yeah, you don't agreement there.
But there are men who sleep around and they make, you know,
lots of kids.
You know, got kids that are the exact same age but do different women. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that, but all the rest of the stuff, yeah. I don't know what she was. She's not saying anything that I wouldn't have said.
Yeah, she said, so a lot of what she's saying, like when she talked about men, just because the world has conformed to something different doesn't mean that basically who men and women are built in our DNA, doesn't mean that changed. Like she said, a man still likes a cake to be made for him, right? Someone to bake a cake for him. Like, just because you decided that society should be more modern and be more, you know, contemporary, doesn't mean that changed the DNA of him, you know, or how you're supposed to be as a woman. She's just breaking down the basics of how I think women are supposed to be. Like, I think that she's, she's always heavily, people always criticize her, especially women, because she's always talking about how women should be. You know, she's never really talking too much about, you know, how what men are doing wrong with her, you know, what they can change and all that. She briefly talks about that, but not to the level, I think, of what you talk about with women. And it happens sometimes with us where we do get a lot of women who will say, you guys never talk like really, I don't say bad about men, but you guys never really like lay into men, kind of like the way you lay into women. And the reason for that is, and I know a lot of women hate hearing this, and so you might as well, if you don't want to hear it, you might close your ears now, but it is true and always has been true. Women telling men how to be, what to do, how to act, how to behave, all of this, how to be men, does not work, one, and two, it's not our role as women to be telling men how to be. It's not our role to do that. So we are in full understanding that there are men out here who are having issues and problems. And, you know, there's men who would just go ahead and readily just admit that, you know, but it's not helpful for a woman to go and tell him how to be. It doesn't do any service to him whatsoever at all. All it does is just pushes him further and further away. It has to be a man that's more of, you know, in a higher, you know, older or something than him and knows some stuff to tell him that. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's why we don't, you know,
Also,
chastise
I don't,
men.
because men are more, men are simple.
They are very
They're
simple.
not, we're more complicated because we're emotional and they're illogical. So to me, men don't require as much
They don't.
as we do.
They don't.
And that's the reason why I have not much to say about men. If you're a man that cheats, then yeah, stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, what do you do if you're just like a cheater, or you're just a man out here sleeping with lots of women and getting them knocked up all the time, and you know, you're like Jay Fizzle. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's problems there. But that usually stems from a lack of respect for women.
Right.
Which means that some woman in his life was disrespectful and didn't show him the what she was saying, the good a real woman can give
Right.
you. So he doesn't have any value of women. That's the reason why he's giving his seed to like 21 of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So but when it comes to men, no, I really don't have much to say to them, simply because men are just so much more simple than we are. We're just so complicated. And she brought up a good point. I mean, I think I talked about it in our last show, that the thing that changed women the most was the consumerism. Because what she's saying is, we don't know how to live with less now.
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason women started working. It's because they got tired of dealing with the thrifty wife, dealing with less. And so we thought, if we go to work, we don't have to ask him for money no more. So as we've gone older, as time has gone past, we have tried to make men irrelevant. And but we're still not happy. You know what I'm saying? We're still not happy. We can walk around with our designer shoes and our you know, like she said, makeup and hair, and take all the sexy photos and get 1,000 million likes from men. But most women are broken.
Yeah.
Most women don't feel good. And that's because when you lean on, to me, when you lean on materialism,
Validation for
validation,
people.
things
Yeah.
that can be sold, things that can be bought, but you don't have anything like in here. Then you can never truly be happy. And I think that we make it seem as though when women talk today, it's like we make it seem like, as long as we have a big house and we have this rich husband, or we have this, you know, or we have these, you know, it's designer clothes, and we have all these jewelry things, and we're driving around in the nicest car, that somehow it may just make us happy. Because let's keep it real, women like things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's also the reason why women shouldn't be the head of house. Because
Controlling that would
we
be out of
still
control.
spend way too much money. You know what I mean? And men don't buy a lot of stuff that they don't need, especially when it comes to a man being a father and a husband. He prioritizes his family over materialism.
Yeah.
It's just something that happens because he's got a huge responsibility of housing and feeding more than one person. We don't have that responsibility until we're single mothers. And then we end up hitting the welfare, or we try to get a career and try to do both. It doesn't work the same for us. The things that work for men don't work for us.
She's pointing that out, though. I think that what she's known for, I think, is pointing that out, because she's just trying to set women up to be better and to, you know, like have healthy relationships. I mean, and get married and all these things. She's just trying to set it up for them. And I think she's kind of known for that. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of women don't like hearing women talk like this, because it's what she's What she's saying is that, oh, we have to do all the changing and they don't have to do anything. It's like, no. She's saying we need to be who we are supposed to be and stop trying to be this other type of woman.
And
this
even
new
like
type
right,
of woman,
and even in the Bible, it does like that's what I'm saying. Feminism is like the serpent talking to the woman, Eve, in the Bible, and this isn't nothing new. The Bible warned us about this a long time ago. That's what feminism is. It gets in the ear of a woman because women are emotional. We're emotional. We do things emotionally. We don't think it out. Men are logical, and so that is the reason why we have a bigger ability to ruin than men.
Yeah. It's because we latch on. Don't you think? Because we latch on to ideas very quickly, and so because of that, it kind of sends us down a cliff. So this is where the logic. See, this is what I'm saying. This is where the logic of men comes in. It's because that balances that part of us, and so. She named 7 things, but really, honestly, if you just, in general, if you don't follow that kind of creed of what she's saying, you are going to be a less of a woman. You won't be a higher vibrating woman. Women should be intellectual. And she's saying very, very basic things that people hate that she says. It's so funny. It's like cleanliness, modesty. Not showing your body everywhere, not having to go to a bar all the time, not like she said, you always feel like you have something to do every Saturday. It's a problem when you have nothing to do on Saturday night. Like I'm like, no, no, you don't have to always be out there in the streets like that. It's just like getting women to a place to understand just you would be happier as a woman if you would just behave with your natural instincts as a woman. Don't try to be this new woman.
And she has her point of view. I like points of view.
Me too.
Because I don't, like I said, sometimes people throw the baby out with the bathwater.
They do.
They think because like Donald Trump, I don't like Donald Trump, but sometimes he says right things and then you just blow him off and he's doing good things for you. And because you listen to rhetoric, you don't really see what could be. And people do this all the time. Like they find one thing they don't like about somebody and then everything else they say is irrelevant after that.
Right.
And it's just like, no, I don't believe in the polygamy thing, but that's really an opinion.
It's an opinion.
You know what I mean? Some people do. You know what I mean?
There's more women to men anyway.
But can I take something from this woman?
Yes.
Yeah, she's older than me.
Can young women take something from this woman?
And she's right about a lot of things. And if you look at what our culture has manifested to, she was right about a lot of things. You know what I mean? I don't agree with Louis Farrakhan, but when he talks about relationships, I do.
Because and the reason why you do is because he's like her talking about natural. She's only talking about natural roles. That's all she's doing.
I think that women have, like Danielle said, when we talk about why we don't talk too much about men. Things. It's because I honestly don't think men do as they have the capability of doing as much damage as women can do, and I think it's because men make the hard decisions. They're able to make that because they're able to put feelings aside to make solid decisions.
Right.
Women aren't able to do that. You know what I mean? How many times do you hear a woman saying, I'm finding myself? They're like 30, 40, 50 years old. You never hear men say that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because men don't need to find themselves. Really.
It's just who they are.
They grow up and they learn stuff and they understand what's important. You know what I mean? Because their logic is the way that they are. But if you're not married or if you're going from marriage to marriage, you're going to always need to find yourself because you're not finding yourself. What you're doing is trying to escape what's inside of you. Anytime you go against nature, you come up with a bad, you come up with something really bad.
Always. It never works.
It never works. And we've
works.
gone against nature on every aspect. And our country is turning into a crap hole because of it. You know what I mean? And so, I'm like her in a lot of ways. I mean, I think that men are good at things and women are good at things, but we're not necessarily good at the same thing.
Women are just inherently complex, but we're not supposed to be complicated.
Right.
See, this is the thing: is that that's that line that gets crossed, right? Because it's okay to be complex. We wear a lot of different hats. Women are able to do a lot of different things at once, right? But within the standards of a woman, though. You know what I mean? Like, let's not think that we can go and just do everything that a man can do and then call that we can do everything. No. We're not supposed to be complicated. It's only when we go outside the roles is when complexity, natural, turns into complication.
No matter what, guy. Like, I think I'm, as far as women are concerned, I think I'm logical.
Yeah.
As logical as you can get as a woman. You know what I mean? But I am an emotional person.
Me too.
I cry. I get in my feelings. You know what I mean? Sometimes I read comments and you guys get to me. because I get in my feelings. I'm a woman. You know what I mean? Like not everybody can get me that way, but if I'm in a certain place or in my day, and then I read a comment and you're being not nice. Sometimes I'll get in my feelings because I'm
a woman.
I'm led by my feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not all the time, but sometimes, yeah.
You don't want a woman who's unemotional. You just don't want a woman who's overly emotional.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a woman who's not emotional is resisting herself being a woman.
It's hard to tell women all the time that just because you don't like what a man is saying doesn't mean he's not right.
I know.
Your feelings do not matter when that comes. Just because you don't like what you're hearing doesn't mean it wasn't right.
That's very true.
And a lot of women can't handle that.
Yeah.
Because we have to always feel good, and if you say something to us to feel good, even if it's true, we'll write it off as he's mean or they're chauvinistic, and we'll just write it off that way when that's not absolutely true at all. You know what I mean? It is just what it is. There really is no such thing as your truth. There is the truth.
I like when you guys talk to us in the comments or give your ideas and stuff, because I feel like it's interesting hearing the point of view of a man. And sometimes before I even write back, I'm just like, let me just listen to what he's saying, because sometimes just because you're a man, and especially when every other man's agreeing with this one man, I'm like, okay, well then there's truth in what this person just said. I don't jump right to, like, you're wrong. And I see that sometimes in the comments where a man will say something, a woman will come in and just lose her crap on him, and I'm like, no, but take a step back, ma'am. Like, he's saying something that's factually correct, whether you like to hear it or not. The logic in him is stating fact. And are men right about everything? Of course not, but I'm just saying they're logical, so most of the time they're gonna make sense. It's the truth. It's just the truth. And if you have a problem with women talking like her, I just feel like then you're one of those modern women who are just part of the problem and she's just trying to get women happy and married. That's what she's doing. She's making efforts for that. And I'm on board with women that are like that. It's just that she's an old school mentality. And as far as I know, and as far as I've seen, the old school stuff was working. What's not working is what's going on now. So if she's promoting what was the old school stuff, then she's right. That worked. It's not working now. When she talked about the cleanliness of women, y'all know we work in a hotel. The rooms some of these women are in, the way they keep some of these rooms is disgusting. These are women in these rooms.
Of all ages.
Of all ages, all races. Women today have become uncleanly. And so,
and by the way, they usually have men there with them. A boyfriend.
Yeah, husband, whatever.
He's like living with it too. They just both look like slobs.
And filth, living in filth. A woman shines in her cleanliness. That's where she shines. Her home has to be immaculate. Like we're constantly cleaning. Like like we're always cleaning. My favorite part of the grocery store is the cleaning area. So when I see a woman who is just not clean, I'm going out. Right now I'm not even talking about the hygiene part, personal hygiene. I'm talking about just her environment is just a testament to how her hygiene is going to be. I'm just saying, when someone has a bad, dirty environment, her personal hygiene is not going to be up to par either. It's not. So her bringing that up is 100%
These are things that women don't
correct.
want to hear because it challenges feminism. So when she was saying the thing like baking a cake for a man, the truth is, it's like, yes, if I am your wife, I'm your housewife, I'm not going to send you out to Postmates when I can cook for you. Why would you do that?
That's embarrassing to me as a wife.
You know what I mean? It's just like, this isn't about sending a woman to the kitchen. It's just that,
being a woman.
I hate to say it, that's where women are shining the most.
I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Even now,
you admit it.
Even now, when you in the world that we live in today, if you go to a married person's house and their house is messy, they still blame the woman.
They still blame the woman.
I don't care if she works or not.
You know what?
If a man is out of work,
and
the woman's paying all the bills, men still get looked at like, well, you gonna bring in some money,
right?
You know what I mean? That, you know why that is? Because it's just nature talking to everybody. The thing is that women do need men. And I believe men need women. I think that we're meant to be together.
I say it all the time.
And we're supposed to want to make people happy in our marriage.
Yeah. You're
not supposed to go there and try to challenge people all day. I'm not saying that there is some room for some challenge. I think that helps. But in general, you're supposed to come bringing something to the table and to make each other feel good and be better together. You're not supposed to come into a relationship and every single time you get asked to do something that's considered feminine, then you challenge him and say, this is some kind of form of sexual, 1950 sexual politics.
Yeah.
Where you keep throwing it in his face every, you know, and it's just like, why did you get married?
Yeah, what was
See,
the
I don't
point?
understand that either. Why do you get married if you don't want to be a wife?
But it's because women don't know how to be a wife. She's very fascinating, this woman. She wrote some books too. I've never read any of her books. I've just seen her a lot back in the day. But a lot of what she said then is very relevant to what's going on now. So let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's it. We will see you guys next week. Bye.